Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ready, Set, Collaborate. I am so excited that I actually have this is my episode 11. But what is more exciting is that I have Marianne Bailey, and she actually is my editor of my podcast. So thank you so much, Marianne, for coming to
Hi.
my podcast. This is new to me, but I'm getting used to it now. So
You're
and
doing good.
she's teaching me so much stuff. I tell you, she taught me how to do the timer, so many things here. So I appreciate you, Marianne. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
But I'm going to talk about your bio a little bit here. So you're just a wealth of knowledge, girl, I tell you. But the art of networking and book collaboration is what we're going to do Marianne's on. And because my next episode is going to be transitioning to my season two, series two. Is that what it is?
Season two.
Which is book club, the art of book collaboration. So thank you for joining us here. So
My pleasure.
Marianne
Thank you for
Bailey,
having me.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Marianne Bailey, a true embodiment of a spirit of connection and entrepreneurship. Marianne is not just a serialpreneur, she's a visionary who founded the HIP Senior Platform, which that's what I like, HIP Senior Platform, a trailblazing hub dedicated to bridging the gap between seniors, their caregivers, and businesses that are passionately committed to serving them with heart and soul. I love that. You can explore her inspired work at thehipsenior.com. So that's thehipsenior.com. Hailing from welcoming community of Centerville, Ohio, Marianne has spent the past 2 decades empowering seniors by teaching them the ins and outs of technology. You need to help with my husband, Marianne. So,
Send them my way.
her belief that one is never too old to learn something new has transformed the lives of many, making her a beloved figure in her community. I love that you do that because a lot of us, with the new technology that's coming out, we don't know how to do that. So back to her, back, back to her bio. But that's not all. The hipsenior.com recently launched an innovative section where readers can dive into a carefully curated selection of books focused on aging. This section isn't just a list, it offers a unique opportunity to connect with authors through insightful interviews, bringing stories and experiences to life. Marianne is more than a guest. She's a force of change and a beacon of lifelong learning and connection. Tune in to discover her journey, insights, and the impact she's creating in the world of aging and beyond. Thank you so much, Marianne, for joining us here. And we're definitely going to have your contact information at the end to say how they can get in touch with me. This is a well needed service that we need
Thank you so
because
much.
yeah, because a lot of us retire, then we get caught up into things, and now so much new technology is out here today. So, Hip Senior, definitely make sure you connect with Marianne. So, Marianne, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
I think you just read everything about me, girl.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's winter time, and so I joke around that I'm being held hostage in Ohio right now. Um, you're yearning to be a little closer down your way, actually. But I've been in Ohio now for roughly close to 20 years, maybe 18 or so. When we moved here when my daughter was still pretty young. I think she was like in third grade or so. And she's 25 now. She's
Wow.
getting married this coming spring. And so
Awesome.
when I think of how long we've been in one area, this is probably the longest that I've stayed in one area. However, I have floated around from home to home a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, it's never growing grass underneath my feet kind of
Yeah.
mode. But yeah, so I'm a mom, I'm a solopreneur. I have a small team, so I am an entrepreneur. So I wear some hats for one role and some hats for the other. And it's just kind of what I've always wanted to be was an entrepreneur. Um, I joke around right now with my mom, and I'm like, who's 87, by the way. Hi,
Oh,
mom. And she was like, yeah, you've never been good about having bosses or being 9 to 5 or whatever. And I said, well, you could have told me this when I was much younger, because we all aspire to please family and to do stuff right. And so all these years I was like, I need to have a 9 to 5. I need to have insurance and income and all that stuff that people expect you to do. And then it dawned on me one day that I really wanted to be an entrepreneur, no matter the hardships that come with that,
yeah.
the struggles and the blood, sweat, and tears. but also, the joy and the happiness of being able to control my destiny and where I'm headed with that as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, again, entrepreneur, solopreneur. Um, I like getting out. I have an e-bike. I get out and ride my bike. I like swimming in the summertime. Uh, I grew up near the ocean, so my
Okay. Wow.
my plans right now are to get closer a little bit closer to the ocean, hopefully by next year. So, I'm just a kind of all-rounded type of middle western of the country, blood, sweat, tears, love, hope, joy, all those kind of things person. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And I tell you, I love it. I remember you telling me your story how you went from, I think you were in London. Was it London? That
mhm.
you come in? But the different parts of international waters that you actually travel. So you're a round person that actually have really experienced a lot of that in life. And I love that you talked about as far as an entrepreneur. But let me ask you a question. How important do you think networking is for collaboration and why?
It's the most important thing you can do for your business.
Hmm.
Absolutely. When I first started being an entrepreneur or solopreneur, I thought I was an island of one. I thought that everything I did, I had to figure out myself. I had to make it happen, make it work. And then somebody introduced me to a networking group here in the Dayton, Ohio area. And I went, and suddenly I had people lined up after that meeting wanting to make appointments with me to have one on ones with me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, like 7, 8 people in line, easily.
Yeah.
And I remember, wow. And through that group and through those connections, I learned that I am not an island of one. I am a part of an intricate wheel of business associates out there, especially in the senior world. When
Mhm.
you're dealing with other senior professionals, it's amazing how much they help each other and they give referrals and they give solutions and resources.
Mhm.
And when I started learning that, I realized, oh my gosh, not an island of one. I'm part of a bigger picture. And
Yeah.
it is my responsibility to be part of that picture. And whether, it's one grain of salt on the beach or whether, it's a big clump of sand, of being there for other business owners and seniors, even that are looking to start like their small little dream projects after they retire or different stuff like that, but being part of that and offering solutions and connections with people. So
Yeah.
um,
Yes.
people that are stated themselves, they're missing out on a huge part of other resources and benefits, and even just somebody to sound off with.
Mhm.
With solopreneur and entrepreneur, it comes frustration at times. And, we can't take that out on customers, right? We can't take it out on clients. That's unprofessional. So having a collaborative team that, I have a partner that, this will have to obviously get edited. What is it called? Oh, I have an accountability partner that I touch base with. We used to do it every day. Now she's busy. I'm busy. We touch base a couple times a week. And just make sure, like be able to sound off. Hey, this is frustrating me. How do I fix this? Or this was something really great that happened. And what are your goals for this week? What are you looking to count? Just somebody there, holding your hand and saying, hey, are you reaching your goals? How's it going? What are you doing? So it all rolls together into one big clump.
Yeah.
But it's the most important, besides doing your job, right? Besides doing what you decide to do, it's the most important part of what you can add to your business to increase sales and to make yourself more accountable and clicking with other people, those connections. They're great referral sources. So I don't know how people would do it without referral sources.
I know. And I'm glad you brought that up because when I retired from corporate, I was still young, but I had the old pension plan that helped me to be able to be my own entrepreneur. Even though we had our legal show business for, God, it'd be 26 years this year. Um, I didn't know how to sell, but I was a social worker. So that social work in me made people see the passion that I had in me. And that's another thing that I want to start doing too, helping people who retire to go on to their next, what do you call it, next adventure, next business entrepreneur opportunity. So
Next phase of
that,
their life. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it really, and it keeps you young because I mean, I tell you, when my father died, he was a regional sales manager of a big corporation, but he stopped. When you stop thinking, you stop getting busy. That's when you start going down. So that's what made me push myself to do what I'm doing today. So, but thank you for that answer. That is actually awesome. So let
There's
me.
actually, hey, let me throw in a quick shout out real quick. There's an
Mhm.
author named Robert Delamonte who wrote a book called The Retiring Mind. He said
Oh,
exactly that. He said, when you retire, you're so used to having goals and
yeah,
KPIs and all that stuff. And
yeah,
all of a sudden, when you retire, if you don't make a plan for that and include those type of things into your retirement, your
yep,
mind doesn't know what to do. Where
yep.
where do I go? How do I account for this? What do I reach
Mm-hmm.
for?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe whatever it is. So yeah, it's an important part of retirement is making sure that you've got things that are going to keep your mind active and
Wow.
reaching goals and setting stuff like that. So 100%.
Absolutely. And my husband, when he retired, I had to keep him busy. Okay, we got this business. This was your business. I was just helping out until you retired. So, to keep his mind going because I mean we get comfortable. We sit in the recliner. We said, oh, let's look at cowboy movies today. No, you're gonna get out and you're gonna network. So I made sure that he was out there because I saw what happened to my father.
It also keeps your brain active enough so that dementia doesn't set in earlier than
Exactly.
if you're
Exactly.
predisposition for that, making your brain work wards off that and health and exercise and stuff like that, where it
Yeah.
wards off dementia and Alzheimer's. So
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up because it really is a big thing. And that's actually bringing me into, can you provide some tips for effective communication and relationship building with professional networks? And once we do this, we're going to switch over to the book collaboration. So tell me about this. So can you provide some tips for effective communication and relationship building within professional networks?
I think one of the biggest things that people are forgetting these days is the old adage of saying what you're going to do and doing what you say,
Mm-hmm.
of making sure that if you have a commitment with somebody to do something,
Mm-hmm.
or even if it's just a Zoom meeting, and trust me, I am just as guilty as this. Some days there are days when life happens and things get in the way
Mm-hmm.
that we miss a meeting here and there and whatever. But going back and apologizing and saying, hey, I'm sorry, my daughter got sick, I had to take her soup and I completely forgot about the meeting, my car broke down, whatever the story is, the first opportunity of reaching out to that person and saying, hey, I'm
Yeah.
terribly sorry. Just making sure that if you commit to creating a document for somebody or doing a job for them that they're paying you to do, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you have that open communication with them and saying, this is when I'm going to have it done, and keeping them updated.
Mm-hmm.
um, to
Mm-hmm.
me, nothing drives me more crazy than not being updated on a situation and having to uh, we get busy and sometimes we can't answer text messages and stuff like that right away.
Yeah.
That and I would hope that somebody's not sitting there waiting for me to text them,
Yeah.
because again, we're busy and we've got things going on. But the first opportunity that you have, even if it's like, hey, I'll have 5 minutes later today to update you on this situation,
Mm-hmm.
look out for that, around 5 o'clock or whatever the story is. But just be communicative and
Yes.
say what you're going to do.
Absolutely. And I call that integrity. So everything you just said, integrity. It makes so much to me coming from corporate and me caring about people. I had a situation where like our dryer broke down. And the guy came, he said, oh, we'll have the part next week. Well, now it's into the second week and I haven't heard from you. So that drove me crazy. So communication is so important to me. So that's a great tip. Communication, letting people know. And what I do is I follow up too the day before the interview, or whatever I'm doing here.
I love that. I love the reminder that came across. I was like, oh yeah, I've got Wanda tomorrow. It was on
Yeah.
my calendar, but it was a
Yeah.
nice part of it being
Oh yeah. I do that because some people forget. I mean, I forget, so it's nice to get a reminder because then, you want to make sure that you're on time and you can actually start the process. So, but thank
the
you
other
for that.
part of that also is keeping a calendar.
Yes.
The
Yes.
older we get, it was easy to remember everything going on when I was 20.
Yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
older I get, the more things tend to slip. And it's not that, it's not that we don't have good memories. I have an excellent memory. But
Mm-hmm.
when you've got 50 things going on and you are starting to get up there in age, you've got your things with your children, your family, your business partners, your customers, your networking partners, there's so many wheels spinning to make this cog keep moving forward, that if you do not keep a calendar one way or another, it can be virtual on your phone, but if you're not there yet, if you don't want
Yeah,
me to teach you that how to do that yet,
yeah, yeah.
pen and paper, just write it down on a calendar so you can look at it and be like, oh yeah,
And,
I do have this
and
today.
it's so true because I can't do it. If it's not on my calendar, I may forget, and then
And
it
a
goes,
lot of times it might be on someone else's calendar. If I schedule
right.
on someone else's meeting calendar, that
Mhm.
drives me crazy because, I've had to stop and start putting that in my calendar as well as an appointment and all my appointment stuff, just
Right.
simply because, the day before I might miss that.
Yeah, exactly. And then missing it, I mean, just that quick and you miss it. So that's a great tip. Calendar, communication, and integrity. We're going to use those three tips, right?
There we go.
There we go. So let's switch over to the book collaboration. Now, have you collaborated with other authors, or tell us about how that process went? If you came up with the idea, or how was the process in selecting? You know.
I have not. I have not. I have a password book that I solely created that's on Amazon.
Okay.
But I'm working with authors for the book page on the Hip Senior,
Okay.
where they have worked and collaborated with other authors
Hmm.
and seen that process a little bit.
Hmm.
But I personally myself have not.
No, with seeing that too, then like, have you the challenges or conflicts with that by you working with authors? Has there been like, connection, communication with that to do the collaborative book?
I've seen that authors can be great authors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't heard any horror stories where the authors working together haven't been collaborative and communicative with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that authors can be great authors, but they're not always great marketers.
Yeah.
There's parts to that wheel again that you have to realize if you're going to write a book,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what your goal for that book is. Some people just write books to make themselves the authority in that arena, your business arena. That's what most authors write for, right? Unless it's like romance books, they either
Absolutely.
write a lot of books for profit, or they write because they love and have that passion to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're making a book for your business to be the authority figure known in your business,
Mm-hmm.
then you're probably not going to be able to promote your book very well yourself. You're going to have a surge of your collaborative people, if you're a doctor, other doctors and whatever that respect you and admire you for writing a book and they want to support you. But then
Mm-hmm.
after that, how are you going to get that book out? Well, you've got to, hire the people, the marketers to help you, the people that are willing to put you out on social media, the making partnerships with other businesses that you know sponsor and what's the word, Wanda?
We're sponsors.
Not sponsors, but
I think we having a brain fog here.
yeah, I would definitely have to edit this part out. The people that not collaborative, but businesses that are similar that work hand in hand with yours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, a partner. A partner that you would work with. It's like I do legal shield. I want somebody that does life insurance. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
that word
something.
though. I don't know. Anyway, so bringing together other businesses that support your business in one way or another. So
Yeah.
like you were just saying to me earlier, you if you sell Legal Shield, then you want people around you that are going to sell life insurance or that work with the same type of people that you work with. And then I know there's a word that we're missing somewhere in that story, but
Yeah.
I'll
But
get there.
we'll put it in there. But yeah, but no, those are actually, it's great that you actually have that said that, because I was going to ask you the advice you give to others considering the book collaboration, and you actually gave those advice to people who are actually considering. Do you have anything else to add to that?
I think it's being wise enough to know your strengths and your weaknesses,
Hmm.
and being open enough to admit that, to be authentic in that, and to say, hey, I'm writing this book and I really do not know about XYZ. Can you come in and put in, even if it's just write 10 pages about your subject so that it
Right.
helps the readers, because we cannot know everything in life, right? Now
Yep.
with some chat GPT and stuff like that, it's much more doable these days. But are you
Hmm.
really a true authority figure on that subject? Probably not. So
Hmm.
just being wise and open enough to be able to admit the world, I don't know everything, and having collaborative partners that that other partners that do know that subject, and saying,
Yeah.
hey, be part of this with me, contribute to my book.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I went through with my book collab, my first one, book collaboration with Audacity to Shine. And it's just working with the authors and we connected so well. It took a little while to get it out, but we wanted to make sure that it was perfect. So, and the marketing, you talk about the marketing, yeah, marketing and promotion of the book, that
Mhm.
makes a big difference, how you market it and considering multiple authors. So what I did, I actually marketed my own book, I mean, with a collaboration book, because
Right.
this is the first time I ever did this. So I did it and then I had my own book launch, but I had the authors that was in this book come to my book launch to really tell about their story. So, just the connection and the collaboration and how we all came together. So that makes a big difference. But yeah, but thank you. But I love your title that I gave you, The Spirit of Connection and Entrepreneurship. And I think we talked about that. So this is great. So tell us a little bit about, before we end this, about your business. I know you talked about the hip senior, anything that you want the audience to know about how you can help them.
Absolutely. If you're a business that is in the senior realm at all, and all businesses honestly should be, right? And
Mhm.
we're not talking 90-year-old grandma who's wearing Depends sitting in a rocking chair in a senior home, although we are not excluding her.
Mhm.
We are talking for the hip senior, it's kind of in the name, right? Hip. We're talking about seniors that are out there being active and engaged and starting businesses and running around with their grandchildren and going on vacations and doing all that stuff. But
Mhm.
we're also talking about things like businesses and caregivers start as early as like 25 years old, right? Of
Mhm.
bringing those community of people together. So starting from the caregivers, the family members. My daughter is 25. She, gets on and helps my mom with some of her tech stuff now, just because she loves her grandmother and wants to do that stuff with her, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And keep in mind, I taught seniors how to use technology for 20 years. I still do
Mhm.
that somewhat. And
Mhm.
so bringing all these people together and saying, okay, let's find the solutions and the products and the ideas to help make seniors' lives better.
Mhm.
And so when you log into thehipsenior.com, it's totally a digital magazine. There is no print magazine. So do not email me saying, can I get a subscription to mail out a magazine? Because that doesn't exist. Teaching them how to stay online and do stuff is keeping their brains engaged and learning more. And so that's what we're all about, is making sure that, again, from the seniors are learning, they're getting products, they're enjoying themselves, all the way from the caregivers helping them along that journey. And so we've got a magazine, we've got a digital directory where businesses can list their business in there. We've got our podcast, the Hip Senior. It's available on all podcast platforms as well, just like yours. And then we've got the book section. And starting by probably by the time that this is released, our new directory will be up. So businesses will be able to go in there and put in articles, control all of their events through there, and get the word out about their business. It's going to be a lot of fun and a big wealth of knowledge for people.
That is great, and I really suggest people to connect with Marianne Bailey on Hip Senior because you may not want it for yourself, but you may want it for your parents. That's way you can keep their minds going and keep them knowing how to do things. Like I said, I'm going to send my husband to you because
Well, and not only seniors, but I also help other small businesses as well. I do a lot of videos that I create and a lot of marketing solutions
Mhm.
for small to medium businesses as well. So if you have any of those kind of needs, feel free to reach out and let's see if I can be of some help to you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Marianne. So tell us how people
You.
can get in touch with you.
If you go to Marianne at or email, you can email me at Marianne, Marianne at thehipsenior.com. Or just go to thehipsenior.com. There's a contact page on there as well. Or you can shoot me a text 937-313-6816. You can call, but shoot me a text. Let me know you're calling, because if I don't recognize the phone number, it just goes. I try to stay safe that way. It just goes to my voicemail first.
Yes, yes, no, definitely, definitely. But thank you so much. This is a wealth of knowledge to really help us understand. And it's great to end my episode of networking and collaboration. So I am so happy that you were my guest and that I met you. It's like we've been knowing each other for years, right?
It
But we
has
just,
been, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you as well.
yeah. Thank you so much. So thank you, audience, for listening to our Ready, Set, Collaborate. And my next series is going to be Ready, Set, Collaborate, book collaboration. And I am going to be the next episode 12. So make sure you stay tuned for that Ready, Set, Collaborate and listen for Wanda Pearson, episode 12, because then I get into why I created the art of book collaboration. But thank you so much, Marianne. I truly appreciate you. Oh, and make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to my WDP channel, because also I'm going to have the videos on there as well. So
Thanks. Thank
yes.
you for
And
having me, Wanda. I appreciate it.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.